Okay, well, we don't have too big of an agenda. It's really, looks like it's short unless somebody else throws a curve at
Well,
us.
Ed has more than,
That's gonna be Ed. He's gonna throw a curve at us?
Nothing long.
Are you ready for motion to adjourn?
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe not, yeah.
Okay, just before we get into the minutes here, the big topic that's gonna be coming up for discussion is gonna be the solar. That's gonna be July 20th, okay? Just so everybody knows. All right, so guys, anything on the minutes?
Lisa, he just said July 20th is going to be the meeting where they're going to discuss the solar, just FYI.
Yep, July 20th. Nope,
July 20th.
It's gonna be July 20th.
okay. Guys, you had a chance to look at the minutes?
Yep.
Any questions? Changes, corrections, whatever?
No, motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded that we go ahead and approve the minutes of the last meeting we had. Motion carries. This one I need to sign.
Yep.
There it goes. Okay, Tony?
Okay. First, we have payroll claims for 6/25 of '21 in the amount of $316,565.64, 316,565.64.
Okay. I need a motion to go ahead and approve the payroll claims.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. We approve payroll claims of $316,565.64. Motion carries.
Okay. We also have accounts payable for June 7th, or July 7th. The amount of the accounts payable claims is $496,597.65. 496,597.65.
There's a payroll.
And that's as of what date, Tony?
July 7th.
Gotcha, okay. I had an old one here, sorry about
And
that.
she should have emailed those out.
Yeah, she
Oh,
did. She
yes,
gave us
she
a
did.
hard copy.
She gave us
I
our.
She brought it
I
out.
printed off.
Plus she emailed it. Looks like the highway department. Brad is a big winner today.
It's that time of season.
Yes, it is.
I'm sure your guys are out.
All right, you need a motion on claims?
Yeah, we do.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded that we approve claims of $496,597.65. Motion carries.
And I have, this is an amount that we move from the commissioner's budget to the health insurance. And we normally do that quarterly. And seeing as how we somehow missed doing that quarterly last time, we are kind of combining two payments or two claims from your line, commissioner's line, to the health insurance line.
Okay.
And the amount is $666,666. I didn't cover
I
that.
don't like S.
And 68.
Oh, 60.
All right.
Yes.
That was close.
A lot of sixes there.
Well, the devil's in the details.
No doubt.
That was a play on words. Thank you, Ed.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, here's that. But that's why it's a little bigger. We forgot to put that in the first quarter, and so we're making it a little bigger this time.
Rex, would you reach over and slap his hand?
That's why I sit a little farther away.
I don't think.
Yeah, this is a standard transfer, so I don't think we need
Yeah.
to make a motion on this.
And then,
Do you have a balance in those accounts and, or what can,
I can get one.
you don't have to do it now, just,
I can get one. Actually, I can have Kathy send me one.
okay, that's fine.
Balance of the, health insurance account, or would Bree have that? Either one would probably have it.
I have that as of June 30th.
Okay, hold on. I'll get it for you.
The reserve,
Mm-hmm.
$2,013,796.57.
There we go.
191,000 in the regular health insurance.
191,000 in the checking?
Hello?
That's as
Yeah.
of June 30th.
Okay, June 30th.
I'll get you up to date
Perfect,
if you need
okay.
it.
What?
I can get you up to date one if you need it.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna meet with them, down there probably.
You need it
I
more
don't know that
current than
they're
that,
coming
or
in
is
today, so.
June 30th close?
Did you have?
No,
one
that's
for
all
them
right,
too?
because we're just replenishing,
Yeah.
transferring from that. No, that's good enough, yeah, thank you.
I don't
Okay.
know if I got a motion, I don't know if I got a motion a second on that one or not, did we?
Oh, that's a
On the
regular,
health insurance?
that's a
Oh,
regular
that's just a regular
transfer. Yeah,
transfer.
yeah, we won't make a motion on that.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Okay, what else you got, Tony?
Okay, I have the monthly treasurer's report,
Okay,
and if you want to discuss with Ed the other items that he has now.
We can do
after
it
the
now.
support you
Yeah,
can,
yeah,
or if
we
you
go
want to.
ahead. We'll look at the report and then, thank you.
okay, sounds good, perfect.
Newspapers in one or not.
Okay, Ed, anything on here you want to point out, is just
Let
a
me ask
standard?
you that real quick.
No, everything's running according to.
We're gonna discuss solar
I will
on July
point out on
20th.
our, Bank reconciliation.
But I don't know if we're gonna
two
discuss
money
it.
market
Stay.
accounts.
This is Mark Burry, so that's,
It's Mark, okay, what does he want?
I hate to interrupt, I'm sorry. He was just wondering if we wanted to reply to that flyer today, the solar flyer. You wanna wait until the 20th?
Yeah, we'll discuss it on the 20th.
Okay, no,
Yeah.
Rex said discuss it on the 20th. So, okay, so, okay, all right, thank you. All right, bye. Sorry to interrupt.
No,
Ed.
no, no, that's.
Okay, go ahead, Ed.
We had opened up two money market accounts at our primary bank, getting a higher interest rate. And one of those was for the health insurance reserve. And so we're gaining more interest there. And then we just have, for the overage, a money market account also with higher interest. We have, like I say, $2,013,000 in the health insurance reserve, $4,254,000 in the other money market. Everything else is pretty much right there, standard.
Okay,
We moved some of the tax money out of some of the lesser paying banks into our higher interest rate, just to get some more interest. Collections, did you want to go through everything?
go right ahead, you got the floor.
Hey, can I ask you a quick question on that?
Once you.
With some of our other
Oh,
accounts, as long as we
It's-
track it.
It's in our general operating account, but it's a separate fund.
So is that invested in any of these accounts?
Yes, I have it in our highest operating bank account.
Is that in farmers and merchants?
Yes. And it's a little sad, $3,474,631 earns us $1,013 a month. So if we didn't do anything, we'd make that, but that's not much.
Yeah, that's good. Ed, we're gonna go ahead. Any questions on your Ed's report?
I do not.
If you don't have, I'll take a motion, go ahead and accept it. We'll put it in the minutes before we get.
Okay, motion to accept. it.
Okay, motion's been made, second, that we go ahead and approve the treasurer's report for the month.
Okay, percent of collections, we are at 99% right now for the spring collection. I'm real happy with that. We have 15.7% for the fall collection. I think at this point, it's a little redundant to keep reporting on the spring collection. We are nearly there. We have about $191,000 yet to collect, but I'll start giving you updates on the fall collections.
Yeah, that's
Most-
real good.
Most of that 191,000 will come when we have our tax
Tax sale,
sale, and
yeah.
that's coming up this fall. We had 41 parcels that did not hit the deadline, which is Friday, and so those are certified to go to tax sale. One of those people came in this morning after the deadline and got it all caught up, paid their fall taxes as well, so they're out of tax sale, but they had to pay an additional fee, because once you hit that deadline, there's some SRI fees. SRI is our vendor that we use to do all of the tax auctions for us. They have a very full deadline of different things that they do, that we do, that the auditor's office does. And so anyway, we got 2 of them checked off, but we got to go clear through there. And our tax sale date will be October 28th, right here in this room at 9:30 in the morning. And like I say, we have 40 parcels that are ready to go to tax sale now, certified. We'll have 25 or so of those they'll pay.
Right,
It'll be tax
right.
sale.
And I know you probably don't remember everything, but would one of those be the ID properties out at North Point that we're dealing with? Or is that?
Probably. Yeah,
It's a
but,
open drainage ditch, but
I can ask.
I was just curious because we discussed that in
Okay.
the drainage board.
So anyway, we're off on and going on that. Now, the big thing that I want to ask your permission on, every 2 years, our contract with our primary operating bank comes due. And that was actually due last fall. And if you'll remember, well, you guys weren't here, but we had the outgoing commissioners at that time. Tom Kruckerberg, the former treasurer, he asked to kick it down the road a year, basically because of COVID. And so he said, let the new guy deal with it, which is me. So anyway, it's time to do that.
well, you might as well get broke in on it.
Yeah, it's time to do that, and I have a letter of specifications that I'm gonna be sending out. We have 5 different banks in Adams County,
Right.
and I give this to all 5 of the banks
Thank you.
to allow them to bid on our operating accounts. There's quite a bit involved here, a lot of minutia that's involved with all the different, I think we have 12 different checking accounts throughout the county. And this gives each of the banks the opportunity to bid on that. There's dates on there. I started from opening them up on Tuesday, August 31st. And they would start on October 1st through September 30th for a 2-year term. So I backed it up. That gives us a full month if we would change banks. It gives us a full month to go through all of that because it's quite a bit to change banks. Rex knows that very well during his time in the treasurer's office. So I backed everything up. I want to ask you, and highlighted in yellow there, Tuesday, August 31st at 10 a.m., that you would make the decision on the Board of Finance to do it. I don't know if that date works. Do you want to make the decision in the regular commissioners meeting? Do you want to have a Board of Finance meeting prior to it? Well, it has to be prior if we're going to announce it that day.
We need to have a Board of Finance meeting at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock is fine.
Yeah.
I will change that. And then do we ask the banks to be here, or would that be an executive
That
session?
is at their discretion. They just need to be informed of what time
Okay.
because
And then we'll discuss everything. Of course, we'll open up the week prior to that. And I'm assuming you'll do it just like we do any of Brad's bids or anything. We'll take it under advisement and look them all over.
yeah.
I don't believe that any of the banks will submit an exact apples to apples proposal. just because each bank has their own operating policies. So we'll have to look all that over, and that might take a little bit.
Yeah, we'll have the Board of Finance meeting, then you can just be here for the Commissioners meeting, bring forth what was discussed then we'll take it under advisement at that point.
So the Board of Finance, will they make a recommendation to us to approve?
Well, they'll make a yeah.
So we'll do the Board of Finance meeting the day of announcing it.
Yeah.
9 a.m.
Yeah.
And that would be on the 31st then?
Tuesday, August
You'll
31st.
you'll give us a report at the Commissioners meeting concerning the people that have submitted quotes.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we'll open the bids the week prior,
Yeah,
so everybody will know what, the bids, and then we'll, give us a week to look at them all, and then you guys will make the announcement.
Yeah.
On who wins the
Yeah.
following week.
yeah.
Then that gives the winning bank, a full month to, get everything ready and for us to change everything over to that new bank, if that happens. Okay?
All right.
Very
Any
good.
other questions? Thank you, gentlemen, very much.
Okay, thank you for your work.
Thanks, Ed.
Okay, Tony, anything else?
That, I believe, is all. Like, we usually have health insurance claims, but due to the holiday, it's probably gonna be a day late. We probably won't get those till tomorrow, so we'll have to do that next week.
I do appreciate them putting this together. That is nice for comparison's sake.
I'll let Bree know.
Yeah.
The other thing, quarterly comp time I will have next week. I'm waiting on a department to get me theirs, so I got most of it, didn't get all of it, so that will have to be next week for the
Okay.
quarterly comp time report.
Okay, very good. Anything else?
That's all.
That's it? Okay, Brad?
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
All right. Mine should be relatively simple and quick too. I have one permit today for BSM Communications, doing work for Comcast on Winchester Road, south of 950 South. The address would be 785 Winchester Street. And they already have the main line there. They're just going to tie into it and run a service across the road to that residence. There's gonna be boring 200 feet of duct and then put the cable.
Okay, so you're recommending go ahead with that?
Yep. I
Okay.
mean, it's pretty simple, straightforward, just across under the road.
Okay, very good.
Motion to approve that.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. We go ahead and approve that permit, Brad?
And the only couple other things, of course, we're still out chipping, sealing, mowing, normal stuff. And then just a reminder, next week, we opening up the bids for 1200 South. This is a reminder to you. So.
Okay.
As we finish that chip and seal, that final fog, will that smoothen that road out at all? Or how
A
does
little
that-
bit. I mean, it's a real thin layer. It will maybe just a little bit. And there again, that's one of those, trying a little different stone again this year, and
Yeah,
there's a lot of,
okay.
get some extra noise in that off of it.
I just had some people ask me how that final product would, final
Yeah.
surface would end up.
Maybe a little, I mean, it's very thin, it's just sprayed on and dries and away you go.
Okay.
So then also now, so we're gonna do that, and I've been in contact with getting it paint striped in. And we are gonna come up and sweep that intersection today.
Oh,
At
okay.
900.
All right.
We were to do it Thursday, the one oil tanker was late, kind of threw us out of schedule, so, we plan on sweeping that intersection today, Saturday.
Okay.
Very good.
And that is it.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Okay, Rick, you're on.
One thing that I have today is, in the past, we've offered shredding for the multiple offices. Confidential Shredding's who I've used in the past. I think this is, Buildings and Grounds have done this the last 3 or 4 years. They do have available date, July 23rd. It's all according to how many boxes we have. I guess maybe I'm gonna lean on Tony a little bit. We could send something out, and maybe see a guesstimated how many boxes each department may have.
They have a maximum or something, or?
It's, they're so far behind. We usually have done this in
Oh.
June, and, you know, if there wasn't a tremendous amount, they might be able to fit it.
They can only get so much done in a day, yeah.
Yeah, maybe Angie would have what she sent out the last time, Tony.
All right, we'll get it taken care of.
Look at that, okay.
And then when we
Yeah.
kind of give some kind of account, I'll try to finalize a date.
Okay. Ed, you had a
Yeah,
comment?
just a question, would we be able to store things in here so they're locked up overnight, while we're staging
Right.
everything?
That's what we have done in the
Yeah.
past,
Okay.
and would be locked up.
Because I actually could clean up the third floor, my room with quite a bit of stuff.
And the sooner
We go,
get
you want a
that
motion on
done-
that, Tony, but use of this room for
I'm
that?
wondering, would some of these things being shred, because there's an annual meeting that we had earlier this year on shredding of documents. I think Chad Kugelhan and Sandy Brown are part of that. So we need to make sure that if they need permission to shred some of these, that they get that prior to shredding. I don't know if you know anything about that or not, Rick, but that meeting was earlier. Sandy Brown actually headed it up. Who else was in that?
How does that fall? Does that fall to the department head to make the final decision?
Well, there's some sort of,
There's laws that dictate.
like you have to keep records for such a certain amount of time and so forth. But I can find all of that out when I send something out to the department heads, I'll check all that out first and make sure that we're good.
Compliant.
Nobody destroys something they're not supposed to.
What I have known to be, we send something out, usually I have a date that they can commit to, no matter how much we got. They just wouldn't do that this time. We'll set a time of when they can bring their stuff in here, and it would be after a Tuesday, because we have the
Yeah.
commissioners meeting. And it would be under lock and key, and it was up to them to, whatever you have in here is gonna go.
Okay.
And it's their obligation to get it over here.
Right.
So I just need to send something out to department heads asking approximately how much they would have
Yeah,
to shred so that you can let the company know and
and they can give me a permit.
get a date.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Rick.
Adam's got something on the animal shelters, whenever you wanna do that.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and take care of, Mike and Dan, are you ready for that? Discuss that, invoice?
I don't think I need a motion on that shredding thing.
No,
Scary seeing you two work together.
It's all good.
Okay, guys.
If you look at one invoice, the North Tower, South Tower and jail comes just under 40,000. That's what, I'll put in additional for 911. If we are not gonna try this through APR, is that correct?
Well, as far as the towers, I don't think we were gonna try, the ARP money, you mean?
Yeah, ARP money,
Yeah.
yeah. we're not-
I don't think we can count on that particular,
Yeah.
Okay,
for that.
because
Project.
this project all was funded through CARES before.
Right.
And then we made the change, instead of having $5,000 a month forever.
Right.
To buy the hardware up front.
Right.
So you don't believe this would qualify under the ARP?
That's a good question.
I don't know, but we know yet.
As we talked about last.
We talked about it.
And, you know, we can go out and we can get all the people to have 100 meg or whatever, even 25 meg. But if our end doesn't support it, they don't have that.
And
So you
then-
think we can get that under the broadband area?
Well, and also under the police, because like I said, if fiber goes down, that's the whole reason why we went this way with the CARES Act for that secondary circuit. It's another way, if our fiber goes
Well,
down, we can
but
still.
part of the thing with that too, they didn't approve it for the secondary circuit directly. We had to go through getting that money otherwise, so.
Back way. I
The
understand.
back
Yeah.
way. I mean, we did pay for it that way, but.
But with that and being able to have our employees work from home without interruption, I think that's easily been found as a doable reason. Again, we could have another, hopefully we don't, have another issue where people have to work from home. And if that fiber's coming between here and Indy without the secondary circuit, they're not working from home. They're not doing
So
nothing.
do we
If
need,
Mark,
to pay out of the ARP money, do we need an ordinance?
Yep.
Yep, I thought that's what.
We do
you guys
have
were
to
gonna
have,
do
we can
today.
go ahead and do that, Dan. Mark is supposed to be kind of giving us the legal advice on that aspect of it, but we can try, go ahead and do that. I mean, I'd be willing.
What's the urgency on getting this bill paid though? How much time?
It
do we
is.
have?
We're not gonna get the work completed
Yeah.
until it starts.
Right.
So I mean,
I
I
think
guess I can get the additional and pay this, so this is paid for. And I don't think we can get reimbursed from it though.
No,
So.
we have to go one way or the
But we
other.
need that ordinance, because I have another project as far as the CAT system,
Yeah.
Spielman coming to you guys looking at, but
Sure.
until an ordinance is in effect, I can't do anything.
Yeah,
So we definitely need that ordinance, move forward, so we at least have a pathway to come to you with a request.
sure.
And you three have to make the decision if it's viable or not.
Well, yeah.
We
and I-
can have Mark prepare that. I mean, we can
The,
instruct him to
the
do
thing that
that.
worries me is the time frame to get the ordinance actually written. I mean, cause that's where I would see a delay, you know,
So as
so,
far as this, I mean, like I said, it's just a shade under 40 grand that, I will. Tony, did I miss the advertising for additionals for next meeting, next week?
I would have to, let me email up to Bree and see if I think I was sent over.
I think it was too, so I'll have to wait till the August meeting to be able to get that money in hand to pay this.
Let me ask her.
But if I can still do this, I'll have an additional done today. if I need to.
so yeah, if you could get it on as an additional for next week's council meeting, that would be
Yeah, then
the best
we don't have any.
from a time
lapse.
lapse, right? But if you can't, then we may be able to put an ordinance together to designate
at
it,
it.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's something that we need to have, and I still think this is a much better way instead of paying $5,000 a month for forever.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
So we'll make it happen this way. But like I said,
well, and once,
we need that ordinance so we can, because like I said, I have a large project coming in for the
Well,
CAD system. Dan
yeah,
knows
for
all that.
Spielman, if we're gonna go ahead with that.
I don't have the money to pay for that. It has to come through.
Did you get a bid on that?
I have a bid, but I'm waiting for some verbiage, and then we just added what they call ComStat to the bid, so I don't have the completed bid. ComStat is a way to, anything that program keeps information on, ComStat allows you to draw it out for tracking purposes. I'm talking crime stats, I'm talking locations, I'm talking time on scene per officer per type of crime. I mean, basically you can filter almost any type of request of anything that it keeps. We did not have that in the original quote. We really didn't know about it. They did a demo for us, and I think it's a valuable tool, especially as trying to track outbreaks and things like that, because we could set something up for an outbreak if we needed to, and we could pinpoint it, it would show hot spots and things like that. So, and I think that's part of the way this will fall under ARP too, with that type of tracking possibilities. So that's one reason I also look at that. And they are also preparing verbiage that coincides with ARP, but again, they get updates weekly too, like from Treasury, so things change a little bit, so I'm hoping to have something by the end of this week, but I don't have nothing to come to you guys yet with it, so we're not that big of a time crunch. As soon as I know I have an ordinance I can come to you with request, I will put the fire into them to get the information to me as fast as I can.
Yeah.
But, we'll get
No,
this
and it
worked
makes me
out.
wonder sometimes, like as far as whether we need to address every single situation with one ordinance or whether we can do multiple ordinances to where, you know, if we did an ordinance that specifically addressed broadband and this aspect of the ARP parameters, and then, you know, also do, I don't know. That's a Mark
Well,
question.
I don't think we can do one ordinance to cover everything that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I mean, just
That's
like.
what I mean, that might kind of help us to speed this part of it up. As far as.
Did you, I know you were in communication with other counties, Dan. Has anybody done any ordinance yet that,
Not that I've heard, I think they're all kind of waiting
wait-
right now to build that ordinance where they can come to their commissioners or their councils with their ARP requests. I haven't heard of anybody officially spending any of the ARP yet.
because we got a copy of an ordinance that addresses, I think it was Greene County that did one for the HVAC
Okay.
systems. We got a copy of that they're running it through. And I think Mark is going to kind of use that as a guide for our situation.
For the cooler and stuff here?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we probably, you
And I
know,
will reach out, because I believe it was Cass County that was looking at for the CAD, so I'll reach out to my counterpart over there, see if that has moved forward anymore. I haven't heard of it, but I haven't spoken to him in a couple of weeks. So I'll reach out to the sheriff over there and see if that's moved forward. If so, I'll try and get a copy of that also.
okay.
Did you get back, Tony, from Bree?
Not yet.
Okay. I'll just stop up there when I leave just to see if.
Yeah,
if
just
we
double
have-
check. I'm pretty sure you were on there, but just double check with her.
Well, I'm on there, but I don't know, are you past your advertising date for the ordinance? Or for the additionals?
Yes.
Okay, so I can't do that additional for this.
If you didn't already have something for this meeting already
We're past
given
it.
to her last week, it had to be in by June
Thursday.
30th, I think.
Gotcha, okay, so this will have to wait till the August meeting.
So you might have had something in
I
there,
do
but
have
not
something in
that.
there, but not this.
Okay,
correct.
okay.
Yeah, I have something, but.
Then yeah,
not
it would
this.
have to be the August.
Okay. Is that gonna be a big problem with the vendors, you think?
What it is what it
Yeah,
is.
they'll get paid. So we just tell them checks in the mail. Okay.
Well, that brings up, how are we gonna do the part that comes to this building? That's where all the servers and everything stand. So if we don't have this building connected, he can do all his part, but they're still not coming into this one. And that's 33,487.29.
487 what?
$33,487.29.
Because we were gonna look at,
You thought, Mike, that this would come out of the ARP program?
I was
Since-
asking about that a while back.
Since
If
it
we
would
could take-
be,
We could take this whole chunk out of ARP.
yeah.
A few meetings ago, a couple weeks ago. And what I was told is that we weren't gonna try to do that out of this. That we were gonna try and have to find money someplace else.
because we're looking in cum cap, right?
Right, yeah, but we didn't have, what's the breakdown?
See, we've got computer software. Let's see if we had, let's see, there
Well,
should,
those two line items
See,
are
there's
about
Superior
gone. We had
Court.
about 18,000 left.
but I don't know.
But would it be more than the 33? Because Sheriff, didn't you just say you were just doing the north and the south tower?
North, south, and jail,
And when you're doing the jail also?
which just comes under, just under
Computer
40.
hardware purchase.
Okay.
If you look at the
Tony,
quote.
here's our cum court total.
Yeah, I got it all right here.
Can we take and
I didn't hear him say the jail. I just,
Yeah,
I thought he
pay
said
these
for
things
north and
and
south
then
tower.
go in for the ordinance and reimburse that line item we take it out of?
The risk that counties take is that if you pay something out of that or in expectation that it will be reimbursed out of that, it may not happen. Then you would just have to pay it some other way. It's different from the CARES. They're still working on what all is allowable.
Right.
That's why it's kind of a moving or fluid target. So that there is no specific answer yet as to what is going to be allowable. And that might be something that Mark needs to dig into. And I don't know if any county has figured this out. I know one county they did HVAC work and some other work, and it did pay for part of it. Well, I don't know if that's accurate either, because I don't know if anybody has actually submitted into monies for that or not, because it's kind of a moving target. It's possible, I guess. But you just got to be careful about it.
Well, if we go in for the $73,000, we do an ordinance on that.
Mhm.
Mark would have to draft that up for us. We'd have to go ahead and approve it.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we'd have a problem doing that. Now, whether it would clear that would be remain to be seen.
I'm looking for cause you can take some of this out of your budget, you said, right? I wasn't writing numbers down.
I think in those
We were going-
line items out of fund.
What fund do you want me to look and see how much is it?
We were talking about Coon Court for this, which would be your 33,000 that you're talking about.
What's the phone number for Cume Ford?
$11.40 is the,
1140.
yeah,
1140 and 1138 was the other one?
11.38 was the other one.
I know there's not enough under my line items.
No, there isn't.
So 1140, is there another area we wanted to look?
Those are the ones that we were talking about on the $33,000 one.
See if she gets that email.
Well, if there's a higher risk, in fact, if we would find the money and pay it and try to go ahead and take the ARP money and reimburse the line item we take it out of, if that's a higher risk on doing that, then maybe we need to draw the ordinance up first.
So I'm not sure ARP can be used to reimburse.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's all kind of convoluted still at this point. It's still kind of a moving target, which is why the National Association of Counties and I think the Indiana Association of Counties are kind of saying, hold on, folks, because we don't know everything yet. If you go out trying to spend money that you don't know you have, you better have another source to pay that, because that may not be possible. It may not come through. They may not approve it. We just don't know. I do know that at the end of August, our office is supposed to send in a report of anything that has gone through it, or what interest we are getting on it and so forth. We have to submit a report into the Treasury portal. So it's one of those things that there are so many needs that we think it could be used for that are legitimate. We just want to be sure that that's accurate. And then from what I understand, it would be the commissioners coming up with, okay, here is what we have found out that are legitimate uses for this. Then you have to go to council and get council approval as well. The two bodies have to work together. Bree, we had a couple of questions on, one second, I got an email for Brooke, not Stan here. Oh, this is what is in 1140. Bree said there's 294,194.21 in 1140.
But we don't have the breakdown of that. At least I don't have it in front of me.
We could
The
probably
line-
get
the
it
line
right
item,
down.
that's in
I'll just
that.
let Bree get on here and look up she's a lot quicker at that than I am. Oops.
I've got it up here if you wanna look.
You got the financial up? Can you get in on that one? 'Cause this is, read only. Maybe,
I don't know if I'm in 1140. So,
You're wanting to know what's in each line item?
How much money?
how much money is what we're talking about? Is it 33,000 something or?
334729
Yeah.
is for the service complex.
Okay.
Well, if we look at taking it out of ARP, you're trying to do that, and we have to have an ordinance, we're gonna have to get another week. So whenever Mark gets back.
In equipment, you have 75,631.
But right now, you're saying you got 40,000 you can use.
Yeah, I can do an additional out of E911 to cover this for the secondary circuit. It
Okay,
qualifies for
so
that.
basically, Bree, what we're trying to do is find 33,047.29.
Mike, didn't you say there was 50,000?
We got that available in that line item?
There's 70, whatever, I just, 75. There's 75,631. Actually, let me put tomorrow's date to make sure.
What about Concord?
This is Cume Court.
Oh, that is, okay.
so the line item number,
Yeah, 75,631.
Okay, so we got the money there at this point.
1140, 33,700. So,
So the question comes down is, we got the money that we could do it, but if we're gonna wait and try to see if it qualifies for the ARP, then we gotta wait on the ordinance.
And I think that could be too long. I mean, these people are in the process doing the work now.
I know.
So we gotta order it, and then we gotta get it in. There's gonna be a time lapse of practically a month. If I can turn in the order and say, do it today, there's probably gonna be a month before it comes in and everything else.
Do they need paid right away?
No, they won't get paid until work's completed, so we probably have 6 weeks.
but even so, we can't approve the purchase until we have the money
I
appropriated.
don't wanna sign my name to
Right.
it until we know we can finance.
So we got the money that we could approve it if we wanted to. Unless you wanna wait on,
Now, the other question that was asked about that was whether or not the ARPA money could reimburse
the line item.
the line item if later on it goes through and it would get approved, whether or not it could reimburse back into a line. And Bree, I told him, I don't know that answer yet, and I don't know if anybody knows that answer
Well,
yet.
the other thing is, if we approve the expense, or if we approve the purchase, we know we've got money here to take it out of, or if it works out to take it out of ARP money, we would have the money. So we will have the money.
Yeah, so we
Pay
could
for it.
actually approve it.
So if we
Still
approve
draw the
it,
ordinance up.
and then, once we find out, what our ordinance is and what our ordinance can be used for, then we can either take it out of the ARP money, or we can split it and take it out of your $40,000 plus the remaining 33 at 1140, 33,700. So even though we approve the purchase, we won't have to designate which one of those places until,
So it's done.
yeah. So
So would you guys sign this and bring it up?
does that make sense?
Well, but we have to, it's approved, but we have to decide where we're gonna get the money. We can't leave that just said, well, we're gonna get it here or here. It's
Well,
gotta be approved.
But the money is sitting there, whichever way we go.
But don't we have to decide before we approve it where we're taking the money? We can't say, well, maybe we're gonna take it here or maybe we're gonna take it
Well,
here.
that's what I'm
Depending on the
saying.
ordinance.
I don't know that we have to decide between the two to approve the expense.
I'm not
I
too-
think we
yeah.
probably need to figure out
We-
which
yeah.
line it's coming out
We
of.
we could
Leave that open-ended.
designate the line items now.
Okay, but we gotta approve how we're gonna pay for it before we approve the bill. We can't say, we got the money here, but we might get it here, so we're gonna
Yeah, you have to
approve it,
approve
but we have
where
to
it's coming
decide.
We can approve the line items where it's coming from right now.
Yeah.
We've got the money there
Yeah.
now.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then
And
we have to
could
use
make
that.
it, you know, that we would still try to go for the,
The reimbursement would come later, should we find out, or Mark find out that, yes, this would have been approved for those revenues,
then we
we
can
will
make,
have to find out from state board if you then can reimburse a line out of that. So, as I said earlier, that may not happen, yet you need this.
So we
So
could,
you have a
we could
line to pay
approve it out
for
of account 1140.
we can approve it out of what line items we're gonna
33,700.
take it. Now, if we do the
Yeah.
ordinance and we're gonna take it out of the ARP, then we can make another motion to go ahead and,
But
that
Or
we
we find
send
out
those
later
line
on if
items,
we
But
need
for now-
reimbursed, you do that.
We can approve it based on,
what we have right now.
yeah.
So we basically need a motion that you approve it with his share coming out of the court and my share will be coming from an additional out of E911.
Is that something you're comfortable with?
As long as we know where it's coming from.
That's where that money's
That's where
coming
it
from. We
comes
know we have it there.
Right.
We can do
So
it
we
that
can
way.
approve it out of that.
And then later on, if ARP can reimburse, then we'll deal with that at that point. But we know it's paid for
Right,
out of these two funds.
right. And the money is there to
The
do,
money is there.
so.
How much is the total?
Total is 73,396.01.
I think I had that.
Hume Court is gonna pay 33,487.29,
Okay.
and E911 will pay the rest.
We got the shipping on there too.
That's included in that
I
73,396.
think shipping is like $150.
Yeah, the shipping's gonna come in on me.
Right.
Just even math.
Yeah,
Okay,
I want to make sure, because we do have an invoice that the amount was okay, but they had freight added. And we have to find money for that freight cost added.
It was the one that was paid through a grant.
And there's
We
not
just need to
enough
know
of the
where to
grant
pay it.
left to pay the freight cost, so we have to take that out of another line somehow. And I can't, what was that for?
I think it was CBTS, wasn't it?
So I'm just saying that, just, you know,
What aspect? What?
It's
project?
part of
Was it the courts?
WebEx, yes.
Was it
It
at
was
my
part of-
place? Was it the courts? Where was it?
It was WebEx.
so we may not need to worry about it with this. I'm just saying
In this case. it's
Possible.
$50.
Yeah, and this, we already put in my part, so.
Okay.
We haven't taken care of it in this order. Bree, get with me, let me know what that is from the other one, and we'll see what we can work out.
Well, the WebEx thing is completely separate.
Yeah.
That's a different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So I guess what I'm asking is for a motion that this purchase, Mike can move forward, you guys will sign off that the Cume Court will pay the service complex, I will pay the rest at E911.
okay, you guys, you need a motion.
I'm comfortable with that, because we know the money's there, we know that we can pay for it. So I'd make that motion.
I'd second that.
Okay, motions have made and seconded. We go ahead and approve that request for a total $73,487.29, $40,000 coming out of the, 911
Correct.
fund?
What
and
line
the-
item was this 33 coming out of?
And the 33,487.29 comes out of Coon Court, whatever that number is, 11.
1140-33700.
Okay, Bree got it, you got it. Got it, Tony?
She
Bree,
does.
I'll
Okay.
send paperwork over to you, an additional
My left hand.
E911 for the August meeting.
Okay,
Because I missed the advertisement for next week, correct?
yes.
Yep, okay.
And gentlemen, just to let you know, anything that our office gets on this ARPA revenues, I forward to you guys. If there's webinars, if there's information, I immediately forward that so that you guys can also keep up with what is going on. As a matter of fact, what's the date of that? The 15th? On the 15th, Shannon Bree and myself are going to Plymouth for a
Quick update on RSA.
auditor
You
conference.
want to give a quick update?
And one of the aspects they're going to be talking about is this. So we plan to ask, there were some other things that were in that there that we are making it a point to ask. So if we get further information on that, we'll let you know. And they are having some HR, Ken Irwin is going to be speaking up there regarding human resources with counties. So, and they're going to discuss auditor's office working with county highway departments. So be prepared when I get back.
Is that going to be on Zoom by chance?
I don't think so.
Don't think so, but I don't know
Strictly in
that
person?
answer.
I think so.
It's a north-south training session that I guess they have.
They started doing them 2 years ago. 3 years ago.
So we're all three hoping to gain some good knowledge that will help the county and certainly some important topics that we need to ask questions about, so.
Okay, very good. Yeah, Mike?
RSA, we've been, between Rex and I, we've been notified a couple of times on that. That's for multi-factor authentication for all users that are on our network. And that would include all of Decatur, all their departments. They're practically all on with us. Same thing with Geneva, Bern, it's Bern PD, and a couple of users at Monroe. So those are outside people. They make up about 200 users totally. And Adams County government's around 150. So there's more people outside of our network or outside of Adams County government that are on our network than what we have inside of our network right now. So latest thing is we got an extension till August the 4th to comply with some education aspects of it and for us to try and put some back-end services in place. And they kind of want to see that done, and if that's taken care of, then they will probably accept another extension till September the 4th. From what I was talking to Carrie Carla. And I can't say her last name, I can't remember it right now.
Yeah,
Mark
she
was
sent an
talking
email, you got the email that she
that
just sent
they
us.
will not go beyond
Right.
September the 4th for the extension. So that means that we have to have all those users in place. We currently have just about all law enforcement and a number of people who are remote working, possible remote working. They're on two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication. We have to handle the rest of them that make up that number. So that's going to be approximately 275 within 2 months. If we can't get some sort of self-enrollment in place, this takes a while to educate people on what it is and a lot of hand-holding in place, and we're going to have some training done, plus the back-end services have to be taken care of as well. I don't have a quote yet, but initial quote verbally was about $12,000 to put the back-end services in place. If we can find someone, an outside vendor to do that I have hours with, then we would just be charged against our hours for consulting.
Would that be anything as we start to meet with our people that Shannon could help with, or would it just have to be with specifically your IT people and contracted hours?
Shannon can help with the education and the meetings and so on.
Okay.
That's okay, but the back-end services, for us to try, for my three guys to try and do that, plus trying to put the back-end services in place, we don't have enough manpower to do it. First of all, we don't know how to do it, and so we'd have to be trained on that, and that's gonna take time. And so it's just better just to hire that aspect of it out.
So we've got
So if
until,
we hire with a company that we don't have hours with because it's basically a lot of labor, they said. RSA said that their people to put in the back-end services was gonna be 12,000. Innovative right now, because they were the people who we got RSA from when they did the initial installation. They said they're getting hammered by so many counties right now that it's tough right now for them to see their way through to try and find somebody to come in and do it. They would be willing, because we're a good customer, they'd be willing to try and see if they can get something done in a hurry, if I would make that request, but I have hours with them, so it wouldn't be an extra 12,000, so I can ask and see if they could do it out of our hours. And plus, it's gonna be cheaper than $12,000 if they do it anyway.
so we have until August 4th to get the education in place and until September 4th to implement the
Yeah,
RSA.
we could start on the implementation, which we already have with the police officers and everyone else. And we bought the licensing, which they haven't shown up yet.
But we'd have to be
As soon as they
compliant.
show up, I gotta insert the licensing in so that those secure IDs show up in the database. And then, I can go out and I can start putting them in, but it's gonna be the harder way to do it without having the self-enrollment in. Right now, for me to go out with the current method, it's like a half-hour user minimum. And for a lot of users that aren't very good with the cell phone, which is nearly all of them, they don't know how to do hardly anything on it. And so there's a lot of things that have to come up, especially if they're their own cell phone that they own. So like if they don't know their Apple ID when they put it in and it requests their Apple ID and password, then I don't know what that is because it's their phone. So, we're just kind of at a dead set still with putting in the software until they can supply some of that information. So we run into a lot of that stuff as we're going through. So if they have all that stuff in place and they know it, it's about a half hour out of our users' time to get them fully implemented with it normally.
One of the things we talked about last week was doing it in groups.
Yeah.
Is that a possibility?
Yeah, but you still gotta you can have them in groups, but you still gotta work with them one at a time.
Individually.
Okay.
Because someone's Apple ID to install the software isn't gonna work on someone else's device.
Sure.
So, I've done that with the police force. I had a whole room of, let's say, 10 guys or 15 guys. It was still one-on-one to try and get all that stuff in place. Now, if we had self-enrollment, they say that's in place, then it becomes much less on our part, the time to do it. And it's more where a person can come into the website, they can then be able to log in and they can, it's their time at that point. If it comes up and says, okay, install the software, then, they install it on their iPhone or their Android, whatever. And they can be sitting at home trying to do that on their stuff. And so it's not something that we have to meet up with. And then we can handle the one-offs on that point. With them. But, yeah. So I just wanted to give you that update. That's where we stood. This is not going to be easy to get done by September 4th. Flat out. I'm not going to try and sugarcoat it. It's going to be terribly difficult to get done with 275 to go, and they're not all part of Adams County government. And, Dan and I were talking, well, what happens if a site says, we're not doing it? Well, then they got to leave the network. Well, that's more work for me than just adding them in. To have someone leave the network, then I got to remove all the software from their devices. I got to physically remove it. And for the whole site, and I got to peel away them from the network connection that they got in. Then they're going to have questions on, well, how do we get reconnected? It was kind of we had some similar departments that did that same thing, and they don't understand all the aspects of trying to get connected to some other network, not ours, on what it entails, getting firewalls and everything else and security in place. Because we take care of all that for the users now. They get all their firewall, all their security, all the monitoring, everything else that goes along with it. They leave our network, now they're gonna have to supply that for themselves, and so there's gonna be a lot of time on my department's part on trying to work with them. Because they're all part of Adams County, you just don't wanna just say, okay, you're gone so long, don't talk to me again. You know, you wanna try and help them along through the process of getting off of it. You know, we've had a department or so where that's happened, you know, recently. And they just don't understand. They just keep coming back to the door saying that, you know, we're public servants and we need to supply them with information and stuff that goes along with that, when it was not our choice that they left to begin with, so. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Cyber policy that we have, the market asks, why are we having this problem now? It's because the cyber policy was taken out at a different time than our general policy. So the anniversary date was June the 4th. So it was taken out a year, you know, the year before. So that's why we got a different anniversary date that we're working with. And Carla did send the email that she did send through, said that September 4th, if we qualify to go out for that extension, is the last one. This is what she said that Travelers was going to allow. So it's important that we do get that educational meeting set up so we can comply with that part of it.
Yeah, we gotta have that in place before we can get the second extension.
Yeah, yeah.
That doesn't mean that we can't be working and put
Oh, no.
onto it in the meantime, but to make it even possible, the self-enrollment part has to be put in place. I can do it the long way right now to try and get people on, but I can't get in 2 months 275 people on, with most of those being outside of Adams County government.
Realistically, when do you think the educational meeting would happen? Are we looking at 2 weeks down the road, trying to put it together?
I'm gonna need someone to just take it over, whether it's, you guys work with Shannon or whatever, because I can't be bothered with that plus that. So as soon as you guys think you can do it, I just say do it, and I'm outside of that window, you know, on my end of it. I can be there to help, I can be at the meeting and so on, but all the setup information and all the logistics, someone else is gonna have to take care of that work and do it for me. Because I can't be expected to do that and all the other stuff that goes along.
No, we're not asking that, but we do need to know the contact people outside of our Adams County government that would have to be involved with that WebEx training.
You know the mayor, you know Phyllis, that'll take care of all of Decatur. And you go down to Geneva, and it's Gene Copperman and Rob Johnson. Those are your two contact people there, and Tim Taylor and Jim Newbold at Burn PD.
You say August 4th or September 4th extension?
August the
We
4th is
have
where
to-
we're
we
at
have
right
to meet-
now.
First of all, we have to meet an August 4th deadline
Yeah.
by having the meetings at least taken care of and the education part with the users. Okay? And then if we meet that, then we can ask for an approval to take us to September 4th. And if you need to know the contacts, I'll just verbally say it instead of going up and have to do an email. All of Decatur, all you need to contact is the mayor and Phyllis Whitwright. That'll take care of all of Decatur.
Okay,
Down Geneva, talk with Jane Copperman and Rob Johnson.
Like you said, Copperman.
Verman, Copperman, Kaverman.
And then at Burn PD, Tim Taylor and Jim Bolt.
And who did you say earlier was in Monroe?
It's just a couple of officers, and I'm thinking that's, I always get the one officer, it's Nick Yoder. Nick Yoder.
He's not there anymore.
He's not there
He's not
now.
there anymore.
Oh, he's not even up and running.
He's not even up
He's
and
gone
running.
completely. So Kevin
McIntosh.
Kevin McIntosh.
Okay, we got everybody?
I think so.
Okay. Then I think Shannon, you would be the most logical person to be the point on this. And
And
you
we're
guys
gonna
agree?
hold the meetings at the jail.
I agree.
You agree with that?
I agree.
Okay.
Is that where we want to hold the meetings? We don't have WebEx really in place in that big training room. If we're gonna do something with that.
You're talking about it down to the meeting room at the jail?
Yeah, it's not there yet. That's gonna be my next point that I'm gonna bring up.
So we have to have it here?
We probably would be best to have it here if you have
Okay.
to have a meeting here because it's set up.
Okay,
The jail, the big training room at the jail would be part of a phase 3 WebEx.
okay. All right,
Now, that's my next point, is phase 3 WebEx. Do we continue with that, because that's gonna be kind of substantial in itself, and we couldn't get it done through CARES last year.
well, I
So
think that you were going to get a quote on what it takes to go through that phase, and then we're going to see if we can get some ARP money out of it.
Yeah, okay, so that's kind of where we're going.
Right.
So, yeah, so there's quite a few places that still need it. So I want to bring that up in this meeting. So it's community corrections, probation, Jeremy Brown in the prosecutor's office still have one place, whether he still wants to do that, a meeting room there or not. We're going to stick it down in the Council on Aging conference room in this building, another WebEx place. In my IT office, we're going to put one into there, and then the big training room at the jail. Those were the ones that were left out from the first 2 rounds.
Okay, so you're going to get quotes, and then we're going to talk about it.
Did I leave out anyone that you guys could think of with all 3 phases?
Well, I think that covered everything. The very first quote that CBTS gave us covered everything,
Yeah,
because that was kind of the wish list.
yeah,
And then we did what we could with the monies that came from CARES.
you're right, exactly.
So now we just need to look and see where we're at
Yeah.
to complete the,
We found another grant for phase 2.
right?
And
That's true.
That one is, except I don't have the invoices. Maybe fully vetted out yet, mostly, but not fully vetted out. And we're still vetting out invoices from phase 1, actually, with some of that stuff, so. I'll
Okay,
continue on from there then.
all right,
I think that's it.
very good, thank you. Okay, Tony, I think Adam Miller had something.
Sorry, Brent.
Hey, Tony, he also, did Adam have Chad and Jenny's contract also? Cause I emailed that to you. If you would wanna print that off, I just forwarded that to you. And then we could look at both contracts together. So,
Hold on here.
cause I can't print from my email on this computer.
You probably don't have it. Is this one set up?
This is not set up for this one.
I can
That way I thought we could look at both of them together.
That's the one you just sent.
Cause I sent it to you, I sent it to you also, Steve, so.
Can you make
I didn't get that.
3 or 4 copies or whatever?
I just forwarded to you, so.
Okay, so we're talking about the short-term plan?
Yes, there's an agreement for Charlie and Carol Bowers, and there's also an agreement for Chad and Jenny Sprunger.
And all Adam had was for Charlie and Carol, which I have here. There's gonna be 3 copies for each thing altogether, one for our office, one for the people, and then one for Mark's office. But she's going to get those copies. Now, we can go ahead and do the first one if you want.
Okay.
And this is an agreement. They had asked Stan if you had looked through this to make sure it was accurate. Did you get a chance to do that?
I have not seen, well, let me go back and see if he,
I haven't seen it.
We need to put a date on it, but it is between the commissioners and Charlie and Carol Bowers, contractor for animal shelter. Number 1, it says the contractor will continue to provide the building facility for sheltering animals on a month-to-month basis for animals delivered to the facility by the animal control contractor. Number 2, the contractor will continue to ensure the facility and provide the use of the incinerator if necessary. 3, the county will pay contractor the sum of $5,000 per month for the continued use of the facility. And 4, the animal control contractor will run and operate the shelter and the adoption program and will manage the day-to-day activities and operation of the facility and shelter programs. And then there are 3 copies, so if it's okay, we'll just do 2 separate motions, one for this, one for Chad and Jenny.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we'll leave one for us, one for Burry's office, and one for them. Okay.
do you want, or no, we need to,
They're all the same, right?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
The people are ordering stuff
I don't know. Where was it?
on that box right there. You're not supposed to even pay them. And then the invoices aren't getting paid.
Bree, what were we
Yes.
paying Charlie a month?
Bowers, $2,333.33 a month. And then Sprunger's is $833.33 a month plus mileage.
I thought
Well, I'm gonna wait and get motion on this one and stuff first, and then I'll read the other agreement here. Correct.
I'm not
Found this
happy.
invoice over here. Who's
Well,
ordering
that's
that,
what's
and what is that?
so Springer's dropped their
It's
proposal by
Pendleton County
$1,000.
Commissioner, somebody's.
Okay, and so we're still gonna pay Charlie $5,000 a month?
It needs to be brought to us as a claim, I don't know what that is. It was over here.
I can call stationery.
I didn't order it.
You need to, unless somebody has another copy of that, they're gonna bring the
Okay.
invoice and claim to us, I don't know.
Okay, you want to discuss it?
I know it's quite an increase from what we've been paying Charlie, but it is, as we discussed last week, it's on a temporary basis, and it's in addition to his current deadline that he gave us, so this extension allows us to continue to provide the service for residents, for stray animals, until we have a new contract and a new shelter available. So I'm in favor of continuing this contract as it's written.
Is there a time limit on the contract?
He said,
It's month by month.
yeah, it's month by month to a maximum of 6 months, he said.
Rex, we might need to do an additional,
Should that be included into this contract?
I'm not really happy with this thing.
we may have to do an additional on that, because I
You're
don't
not
think
gonna
there's
have
enough
enough
money in
money.
that line.
I know we don't.
And additional is gonna have to go on and go before the council and go through all that protocol.
But yeah, that's what we discussed last week, so that's why he wrote it up the way he did.
Oh, no, I mean, I know, but
Yeah.
Steve, what's your thoughts? I'm not happy with it.
I'm not either. We were paying him $2,000.
$2,333.33
A month.
a month.
And now he does nothing and he gets 5,000 and we're gonna pay the other guy
3,000.
3,000 to take care of it. So we went from 2,300 to 8,000.
Well, you gotta count, the pickup was 833.
You got, Springer's gets $833 a month plus mileage.
So about $3,200.
Mileage just depends.
Yeah, right. Right. So around $3,200, we're going up to 8,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
The other option is, we can contract with Allen County Animal Shelter to harbor animals. But Chad Sprunger said that, if he had to take animals up to Allen County, he would not continue to catch. So then we would have nobody to catch animals and deliver them to the shelter, even though we'd have a place to put them. The other option is we have no building. We would either have to build a building ourselves, which wouldn't solve our temporary problem. And that building, the closest estimate we have would be $350,000 to build our own building. We have another option of an offer to buy a building, which could be rehabbed in a fairly short amount of time, but they're asking $400,000 for that building. So on a long-term basis, we have the option of a contract or a proposal from Mike and Cindy Heiser, which we're pursuing. But on a temporary basis, we would just pretty much have to discontinue services for the county. So this is, at this point, this is our option to continue temporary services for animal control in the county. So part of what we discussed last week was the Bowers contract had remained pretty stable for the last 26 years with minimal increases. And Chad and Jenny Sprunger's contract had remained pretty stable for the last, I don't know how many years, 10 or 15 years. So in order for them to agree to do this on a temporary basis, I think they asked for an increase just for, because up to 6 months. So even though that 6-month maximum is not written into the into the contract, that's what he discussed with me personally. So it's definitely an increase from what we had been paying, but I think what we had been paying was probably much below reasonable market value for those services. So those are kind of our options that I have worked through and brought back from them. So I guess at that point, given those options, given this proposal, I'm in favor of approving this on a temporary basis.
So you're making a motion.
Well, unless you want to discuss it further,
well, I would say that if this is a temporary, it needs to be stated in here that it's maximum 6 months, because I sign this, he could come to us in 8 months when we don't need him and say, I got this contract. Where's it? It does not say anything.
It just says on a month-to-month basis.
so we could discontinue it at any point we wanted to.
Yeah, the month to month is like, as a landlord, if you do a month to month, you can opt out anytime. Either party.
The way that you're looking at this, you can opt out without any notice.
That's what it says. That's the way it's stated.
I mean, that would be the
And
intent.
it wouldn't have to be 6 months. It could be whatever.
Well, and see, the Heisers may be ready to take over the proposal sooner than 6 months.
That's just a,
I think that's what it
You
says.
got the other contract.
I've got it. I'm waiting to get this one done, and then I'll go through the
are
other.
we gonna have to?
Does that say the same thing?
Approve this?
Pretty
Well,
much.
we can transfer out of another, so we'd have to do it.
Yep, it does.
They're just gonna have to do an additional.
Yeah,
We
we'll
will.
have to do an additional.
I know.
determine if we'll have to pay hyzers yet this year.
And then obviously build that into the, I think you might have
Well,
built,
we also got, the county will pay for necessary medical care. This is the,
Yeah, you're gonna, any
on the
medical
animals.
expenses.
Yeah, they're gonna arrange for medical care, and that was part of what Sprunger's requested when we decreased their proposal by $1,000 a month with the agreement that we would take care, we would pay for spay and neuter and medical care.
I mean, I think you are putting all of this into your budget for next year. However, this budget, you don't have enough in there, so you're going to have to do an additional
Does
to
this,
try to get us through till next year.
this 5,000 that we're giving Charlie and Carol Bowers, are they having anything to do with it? Are they just reading
Yeah,
the bill?
they're providing the building, they're providing insurance, they're providing an incinerator if necessary, and they are taking care of the animals on weekends. Or,
Yeah, let's see.
so they're gonna share, they're gonna share the management with Sprungers.
Are you gonna make a formal motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion's on the table. Steve?
I'll second it.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded to go ahead and approve the agreement for the use of the animal shelter to Charlie and Carol Bowers in the amount of $5,000 on a month-to-month basis. I guess I'm the only one who's assigned, right?
Yes,
But you'll need to sign all three.
Yeah.
it'll be the same on the other one too. Yeah, all three of them I need. If you want to pass those down so they can look at them, that's fine, but I'll need to have those.
Did you print off a hard copy on the other one?
Yes. Yep, Bree went up and got them.
Okay. There's that one.
Come through on mine, Stan.
Oh, we have to get that forwarded too, though. Okay. Hold on. Let me keep one of these to read. We'll need three of them signed though. Now, this one is also a month-to-month basis for Chad and Jennifer Sprunger. And this says contractor will continue to provide services for catching, picking up, and transporting animals to the building facility for sheltering animals in Monroe on a month-to-month basis as requested by the Adams County Sheriff's Department and for lost or abandoned animals. Number two, the contractor will manage the shelter facility and operate an adoption program for animals at the facility. Number three, the contractor will provide adequate food, water, and care for the animals at the facility and arrange for necessary medical care and spay and neuter procedures for the animals. Number four, the contractor will provide a phone, a number for the Adams County Sheriff and the public to contact the contractor to provide the services required under the agreement. The county will pay for necessary medical care and spay and neuter procedures for the animals. The contractor will provide receipts to the county for such necessary expenses. The county will pay the contractor the sum of $3,000 per month for the services rendered under this agreement. The one thing that we do not notice in here, Stan, that you might know is mileage. Does that $3,000 per month also include the mileage?
That,
Because if it is, it might need to be stated in here.
Because right now they turn in mileage.
Yeah, it should be stated in there.
yeah, it's not stated in here. Well, he doesn't, the contract doesn't ask for additional mileage.
So
It'll be a marked question as to whether or not they can come back and try to claim mileage. I just don't know. You want to call him and ask him?
Yeah, let me ask.
whether or not it needs to be specifically
For the
mentioned.
amount that we're paying per month and the
I mean, you would
mileage.
think that that's part of it, but it is
Yeah.
not directly stated,
Yeah,
and it probably should be.
see, Charlie and Carol did not want their telephone number. So do we have any telephone number?
Sprungers, we're gonna take care of that. Getting a new number.
But here's that other, here's the third copy, and once we figure out what we need to do on that. I think that's something extra. Yeah. I gave you 3 copies, didn't I? Yeah. Then we'll have to get them to come in and sign that as well, I guess. But like I say, we need additionals for all of it. We're gonna need additional for all of this for the rest of the year.
I know it. I know it.
30,000.
Because Heiser's, when they start
How
getting
much
paid
is in that account right now?
Well, we had 45,000 set up as a budget
Oh, right.
amount, didn't we,
I
that
keep
line
getting
item?
into that. Oh,
So we've expended,
I come down here and moves everything to an opposite side. Here it is.
I'll try texting them and see.
Open, open says me. I don't know if I remember it. I think I do.
No, Heiser's are doing it for 45 a year.
I do.
you know, for the adoption fee, I mean, that adoption fee should come back to us, right? Because we're paying for the medical care,
Yeah.
spayed and neutered. That doesn't say anything in there about that
I
either.
think those
does it?
fees, it should be mentioned that the fees would come
That's what
back.
we
Yeah.
discussed last week, those fees would come back to us to
Yeah,
pay for
it's
the.
not in here. So we need to have that in here.
Where is Mark?
I think we need to table this until,
She's gonna tell you how much is in there, but obviously with everything going on, I think we're gonna need more before the end of the year.
well, we don't even know.
I mean, we'll see if we have enough.
I mean, just like, I mean, we don't even know what that's gonna be.
No, we don't.
So you have $24,049.11 right now, and that should be,
So that's only gonna carry us 3 more months.
I mean, that means even if you approve these today, you could probably wait and do the additional for August.
Right.
well, and you still owe, so Bowers hasn't got their June payment yet, so
So that isn't enough there yet.
she'll probably bring it in this week. She usually brings it in the first week of the month.
So we got 2.5 months left.
Yes.
And maybe you can figure out for the August meeting, you can figure out how much additional you'll need to get you through the end of the year.
We'll have to do that.
Part of that's gonna be when Heiser's are actually ready too.
Right, right.
Well, if we, I don't think Mark will rewrite this and get it back to us for today's meeting.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
so-
no. So we need to table this one here.
We
should
need to table this until next week.
Okay, we'll table this.
And then we'll, yeah, just ask him about those additions.
Yeah, yeah. Are you going to?
Stan,
talk
were
to
you
Mark on
going to
that?
ask him about
Yeah,
that, or do you?
I'll talk to him about it. I made some notes and
Okay,
I thought, well, I'll try
Okay.
texting him first, but
yeah, we'll just put it off.
I'll just call him.
Just put it off to next week.
Yeah.
Okay, so this bill here.
It was
Okay,
on this, there's a whole thing of paper right here.
It was on top of this paper over here. Maybe somebody ordered it for tab down here for, when you need to print stuff
but
down
who would
here.
have ordered?
I don't
No, because our office has always ordered stuff for down here.
Received by, what kind of a signature
I
is
don't know
that?
what name, I don't know what that, is that Rick? I don't know.
Okay, there's
I have
a
no
bill here that's been ordered under the commissioners, and I didn't order anything. You guys probably didn't either. And I don't know who received it, because you can't read the writing.
I can call stationers and ask them.
We'll find out, and then we'll just need to get a claim put together for the invoice and then take it out of your
Okay.
line.
Okay, so you're gonna check then with.
I can call and ask who ordered
Yeah,
it.
we'll
Let's
find
let's
out.
find out. Okay, very good.
we'll need it back though, so we.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just leave it with my stuff.
Okay, anything else? Nothing from the public? Ed's done, so I'll take a motion to adjourn, if there's no other discussion.
So move. Second.
Motion's made and seconded to adjourn, so we are adjourned.